Porsche Cup is at VIR this week, and I've already done a guide for that track, so I'm going to try something a little bit different. This past weekend was the first round of the Nürburgring Endurance Championship here in iRacing, and I've done the whole season in the past 2 years. My first year I drove the Mercedes GT3, and last year I drove the Porsche Cup car. I've decided to go with the Cup car once again because, well, the channel should help you know why. Initially, I had planned on making a video breaking down all the exciting moments of the race, but aside from a couple moments where the car almost got away from me, it was largely an uneventful race. For that reason, I've decided to challenge myself to try and reconstruct a lap using the replay where I'm constantly passing lap traffic. I've also decided to script this out ahead of time, which is quite different from my usual method of a more extemporaneous delivery. How much I'm able to succeed at this, you'll be seeing right now, and I suppose hearing with regards to how engaging the voiceover is. Last year, when I decided to take this challenge on, I had started out in Division 4. My iRating wasn't close to where it is now, partially due to coming off 2 seasons of mostly driving different cars and series that I wasn't used to. I had done a season of IMSA and a season of Formula Ford going into that season, which led to this. My strategy was the same as it was in this race, just go in and do my best not to crash through the whole race. More often than not, that worked out well for me. Just a rundown of my results from last year of my finishing position out of how many cars were in my class. 6th of 12, 8th of 13, 5th of 12, 9th of 16, 7th of 14, 6th of 11, 10th of 12, and 6th of 11. Can't remember how often I got those spots because of being faster than anyone, but I do know that many of my positions were from not crashing as much as the folks who finished after me. All of this combined to give me 4th place in my division, a one off from getting a PDF certificate. In fact, when I finished the last round, I looked at the stats and I was 3rd, but there were time slots after the one where I ran, and in that last round, someone was able to get more points than me, and I missed 3rd by 31 points. Still very happy with getting 4th in my division last year. Going into this week's outing, I hadn't put in much practice at the track, which may have been a mistake, but I haven't had a ton of luck practicing the Nürburgring. The length of the track doesn't lend itself well to my normal method of learning and getting quick at a track. I've just relied on doing this series, the last few Nürburgring 24-hour races, and the occasional time that it comes up as the week's race in the series I'm running. I'm basically relying on accumulating seat time at the track. My fastest lap this week ended up being an 8:16.014, which for me is a pretty decent time in this car at this configuration of the ring that the NEC uses. Unfortunately, everyone else in my split was getting times closer to 8:10, or the quickest times in my split were going like 8 flats. Speaking of my split, I was in the second split, with the first 4 splits having Porsche Cups, and there were 9 splits overall. Lack of speed is pretty normal for me in this series. I'm just not quick here. But usually there's enough attrition to get me some more spots. This race there just wasn't very much attrition. One car did run into some trouble in the second or third lap, I can't remember which. So I was able to pick up one spot. I had started 9th of 9 cars in my class and finished 8th, netting me 18 points. Not the best start to the season, but trying to stay on the positive side, I am very happy that I was able to avoid any wrecks and keep my speed at what is a pretty normal pace around the track for me, where last year I probably would have had at least one wreck, and that would have required me to use the quick repair that is available in this series. A lot of the time last year, my focus would wane somewhere after the second or third hour of the race, and I was more or less able to avoid that this time. Like I said earlier, there were a couple corners that got a little hairy, but I was able to collect myself and avoid catastrophe. Whether this was a fluke or not remains to be seen. I had planned on mentioning something about how I'm editing this video to make it look more exciting by piecing together different laps, and how editing can change our perceptions of reality, but now that I think of it, it might be a little bit of a heavy topic for me to try and lift here. I do appreciate it if you've made it this far into the video. I've been seeing videos from other creators where they try and hide a special word in their video so that you can signal in the comments whether you've watched the whole thing. I know as a viewer I find this a bit of a fun idea whether or not I engage with it, so I might be starting to do that in this and future videos. So if you want to use a secret word, go ahead and leave the word lumbar in your comments. Seems like a good enough innocuous word that can have something to do with cars. I'd also be curious how you feel about the style of video versus the stuff I normally make. In any case, next Monday we'll be back to a normal guide for Zolder. And as always, do the normal YouTube stuff, thumbs up or thumbs down, subscribe if you think I've earned it, and we'll see you next time.